Crystal Release. Think you've seen it all in the ninja world? Think again. Crystal Release is that rare Kekkei Genkai that makes everything look like a disco ball. Except this disco ball can kill you. Crystal Release is shrouded in mystery, with its exact nature combination remaining unknown. What we do know? It's rarer than finding a decent ramen shop in the middle of nowhere. The fact that Kiba initially mistook it for Earth Release suggests there might be some earthly component, but that's just speculation running wild in the fandom. So how does it work? Crystal Release doesn't just create crystals, it converts literally anything into crystalline structures. Moisture in the air? Crystal. That kunai flying at you? Crystal. Everything. It renders small-scale earth, water, and wood techniques completely useless. The only saving grace is that it can't crystallize pure energy or chakra, which means skilled ninja with good chakra control can still put up a fight. Interesting, right? Here, we don't just watch anime. We live every character, every story, every emotion. Don't miss out on exclusive content and fresh takes you won't find anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button now and become part of the most passionate and creative anime community out there. Thanks for the support. This journey wouldn't be the same without you. Next, Jugo's clan's Kekkei Genkai. Talk about being blessed and cursed at the same time. Jugo's clan possessed what might be the most dangerous Kekkei Genkai in the entire series. The ability to passively absorb natural energy without any senjutsu training. Sounds awesome on paper, but the reality, it's basically a one-way ticket to madness. This unnamed clan developed an instinctual connection to natural energy that bypassed all traditional training methods. Unlike the Sage Mode users, who had to meditate at sacred places for months, these guys were born with the ability to absorb nature's power automatically. The problem is, their bodies couldn't properly regulate it, leading to catastrophic mental instability and uncontrollable killing urges. So how it works? The constant influx of natural energy creates a unique form of senjutsu chakra that allows for body transformation through special secreted fluids. Users can modify parts of their bodies at will, changing skin color, hair, eye color, and even growing weapons or defensive structures. What's fascinating is that they're seemingly immune to the petrification risk that plagues other natural energy users. The transformation abilities are incredibly versatile, varying not just between users, but even between individual uses. More importantly, they can transfer their balanced senjutsu chakra to others, making them living batteries for Sage Mode techniques. Jugo remains the most prominent example, whose tragic backstory of massacring villages led him to Orochimaru's experiments. His genetic material became the foundation for cursed seals, though artificial versions were severely limited compared to the real deal. Kabuto later incorporated this ability into his own genetic cocktail, using it to master Sage Mode. Kokugan. The Kokugan belonged to the Otsutsuki. Specifically, it's Ishiki Otsutsuki's signature weapon, passed down through the Kama mark to Kawaki. Think of it as the ultimate family heirloom, except it can literally rewrite reality. Visually, this thing is gorgeous. Picture a black wheel with 8 golden spokes radiating from the center, with that signature gold glow when it's active. But the number of spokes actually indicates the user's mastery level, just like Tomoe in the Sharingan. Kawaki started with 1 spoke and worked his way up to the full 8, showing this eye actually evolves with its user. About raw power, where do I even start? Sukunahi Kona lets you shrink literally anything non-living to microscopic size instantly. Then there's Daikoku-ten, which stores shrunken objects in a timeless dimension where they stay perfectly preserved. Add in the ability to summon those reality-disrupting black cubes, measure lifespans, and open space-time portals. Yeah, godlike abilities. Ishiki wielded this power like the cosmic entity he was, but Kawaki's development has been absolutely fascinating to watch. Unlike Jijin, who couldn't manifest the eye despite hosting Ishiki, Kawaki naturally awakened it through his Kama. Jogan. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the eye that's got everyone arguing in the comments. The Jogan is basically the Otsutsuki clan, flexing on everyone else with their pure eye things. The Otsutsuki clan claims exclusive ownership of this power, calling it troublesome and strongly inherited from their clan. Translation? They're low-key admitting this thing is a pain to deal with, even for them. Only Boruto among humans has manifested it, making him essentially a walking Otsutsuki anomaly. The Jogan operates on a whole different level than your typical Sharingan or Byakugan. Initially, Boruto couldn't even control when it activated. The eye had a mind of its own, popping up whenever danger lurked nearby. Think of it as having a supernatural security system that you can't turn off. As he matured, he gained conscious control, but that early involuntary activation hints at something deeper. This isn't just about seeing chakra. Any decent sensor can do that. The Jogan perceives dimensional barriers, tracks interdimensional portals like Yamatsu Hirasaka, and can apparently function even when physically damaged. That last part is crucial. Most dojutsu become useless if injured, but the Jogan keeps going. Boruto stands alone as the only known human wielder, which either makes him incredibly special or incredibly cursed. The fact that the Otsutsuki themselves seem wary of this power tells you everything about its true potential. Sharingan. Well, the dojutsu that had fans losing their minds since episode 1. One of the 3 great dojutsu, alongside the Byakugan and Rinnegan. This visual prowess is the trademark of the Uchiha clan. It actually originated from Kaguya Otsutsuki's Rene Sharingan, before Indra Otsutsuki manifested its independent form. Yeah, we're talking about ancient power. The Sharingan awakens when an Uchiha experiences intense emotions regarding someone precious to them. Their brain releases special chakra affecting the optic nerves, transforming their eyes into what's poetically called eyes that reflect the heart, usually triggered by trauma or loss. But positive emotions like protection can also flip the switch. Even at its earliest stage, with just one tomoe, the Sharingan grants ridiculous abilities: enhanced perception, the ability to see chakra, copying techniques, and casting genjutsu. With each additional tomoe, these abilities become more refined and deadly. No wonder everyone wants to steal these eyes. I've made a dedicated video about this eye, so check it out on the channel to get a full breakdown. This Kekkei Genkai is used by some of the strongest characters, or rather, this dojutsu is what made them the strongest. Sasuke, Itachi, Madara, Obito, Shisui, and Kakashi, the non-Uchiha who still mastered it. Each developed signature techniques that elevated this Kekkei Genkai from powerful to nearly broken. Rinnegan. Let's talk about the goat of all dojutsu in the Naruto series, the legendary Rinnegan. This purple ringed eye sits at the top of the 3 great dojutsu hierarchy. First wielded by Hagoromo Otsutsuki, these eyes were so mythical that for centuries, people thought they were just bedtime stories to scare little shinobi, until Jiraiya realized that Nagato actually had them. Unlike other Kekkei Genkai that you simply inherit, the Rinnegan plays hard to get. You need Hagoromo's specific chakra signature, which typically means combining the chakra of his sons, Indra and Asura. In practical terms, mix Uchiha and Senju DNA and pray it works. Madara waited decades after implanting Hashirama's cells before his eyes evolved. This dojutsu is just broken. The Rinnegan grants its wielder the legendary 6 paths techniques, controlling forces like gravity, mechanization, soul extraction, summoning, chakra absorption, and especially life and death. Plus, it can see all forms of chakra, break any genjutsu, and create black chakra receivers. Too OP. Shikotu Miyaku. Look, If you thought Wolverine's bone claws were impressive, the Shikotu Miyaku bloodline takes that concept and cranks it up to 11. This incredibly rare Kekkei Genkai from the near-extinct Kaguya clan literally lets users manipulate their own skeletal structure, turning their bones into weapons more lethal than any ninja tool. The Shikotu Miyaku originated with Kaguya Otsutsuki herself, though her version was far deadlier with those all-killing ash bones that basically disintegrated anything they touched. The Kaguya clan's version is like the watered-down cousin, still absurdly powerful, just not instantly turn you to dust powerful. Kimimaro was the last survivor of this clan, which got wiped out because they were too cocky about their invincible abilities and picked a fight with Kirigakure. Classic case of believing your own hype until reality hits. Users with this Kekkei Genkai have complete control over 3 biological processes most of us take for granted. They can control bone-producing cells, bone-breaking cells, and calcium density in their bones. This isn't just growing extra bones, it's creating entirely new skeletal structures that can be as dense as steel or as hollow as bamboo. As long as they have chakra and stamina, there's literally no limit to what they can create. Their entire body becomes a living weapon factory. Need a sword? Yank out your humerus bone, sharpen it to a razor edge, and go to town. Want a defensive shield? Sprout a forest of bone spikes from your body. You see, the versatility is insane. It's no wonder Orochimaru was obsessed with getting his hands on this power. Boil Release. When fire meets water, most people expect steam, but in Naruto, you get one of the most underrated Kekkei Genkai, Boil Release. Unlike your typical Kekkei Genkai where everyone uses it the same way, this one comes in multiple flavors depending on who's wielding it. The most prominent users hail from Kirigakure, where the misty environment perfectly complements this corrosive art. The mechanism is deceptively simple, yet devastatingly effective. By combining fire and water chakra natures, users create either highly acidic vapor or superheated steam. The beauty lies in its versatility. You can control the pH levels, temperature, and density. Think of it as chemistry meets ninja warfare, where the battlefield becomes your laboratory. Mei's corrosive mist can dissolve Susanoo. We're talking about melting chakra constructs that can tank Kirin. The steam variant from Kokuo isn't just hot air either. It generates enough force to propel massive tailed beasts at incredible speeds. We also have Roshi, who showcased how terrifying this ability becomes when you combine tailed beast chakra with human cunning. Explosion Release. Explosion Release is what happens when Earth meets lightning and decides to blow things up for the sake of artistic expression. This Kekkei Genkai primarily emerges from the rocky terrains of Iwagakure, where apparently blowing stuff up is considered a legitimate career path. The Explosion Core makes this ability their bread and butter, combining Earth's stability with lightning's volatile energy to create something beautifully destructive. Explosion Release infuses chakra with explosive properties, turning anything the user touches into potential bombs. The mechanism varies between users. Some prefer the artistic approach with clay sculptures, while others go for the direct, punch you until you explode from the inside method. The chakra itself becomes unstable, requiring precise control to avoid accidentally becoming your own worst enemy. And let's be real here. Anything that can make mountains disappear deserves respect. This Kekkei Genkai ranges from subtle smoke puffs to city-leveling devastation. The versatility is insane. You can create microscopic bombs for stealth kills or massive clay dragons for when subtlety goes out the window. Ice Release. Ice Release. Now this is where things get seriously cool, literally. Picture having the ability to manipulate ice with the precision of a surgeon and the destructive force of a blizzard. That's Ice Release for you. The Yuki clan from the Land of Water was the original powerhouse behind this technique, but they were so feared that persecution drove them into hiding. Talk about being too powerful for your own good. And in the manga, Haku is the only person shown to possess the ability to use this Kekkei Genkai. Ice release isn't just make it cold and freeze stuff. The mechanics are surprisingly sophisticated. Users can manipulate existing moisture, create ice constructs, and even affect environmental temperature. Some variants depend on atmospheric moisture, while others seem to generate ice from chakra itself. Keter Yugan. This terrifying dojutsu belongs exclusively to the Chinoike clan, one of those secretive bloodlines that makes the Uchiha look friendly by comparison. These guys were so dangerous that they got exiled to a prison dimension. When your entire clan gets banished because your eyes are too scary, you know you're dealing with some serious power. When activated, the Keter Yugan transforms the user's eyes into something straight out of a horror movie. Glowing red sclera, dark red irises. And this dojutsu doesn't just look intimidating, it can literally control anything with high iron content. It means that your blood is now their plaything. Yeah, blood manipulation. They can control the iron in your blood, essentially turning you into a puppet. But before they can do that, they need to infuse their chakra into you first, usually through a cut or wound. While the clan was nearly extinct, we've seen Chino demonstrate just how absolutely terrifying this ability can be. This eye also has the ability to cast illusions, hypnotize its victims, and even read their memories. So, the Keter Yugan earn comparisons to the legendary Three Great Dojutsu for good reason. Lava Release. Unlike most Kekkei Genkai that stick to one family tree, Lava Release is more popular. I mean, anyone who can combine the fire and earth elements has the potential to use this Kekkei Genkai. Now, we're not talking about just one type of lava here. The fire-earth combination creates different forms depending on the user. Some produce classic molten rock. Others whip up acidic mud that'll melt your face off. And some even create corrosive quicklime or volcanic ash. It's like having a whole arsenal of geological apocalypse at your fingertips. In terms of power, the versatility alone makes this terrifying. Molten rock for direct damage, acidic substances for area denial, quicklime for environmental control, and volcanic ash for battlefield manipulation. Each form brings its own tactical advantages, making lava release users incredibly unpredictable opponents. You never know if you're about to be burned, melted, corroded, or suffocated. Magnet Release. Magnet Release is one of those absurdly powerful Kekkei Genkai that somehow slipped under the radar for years. This badass ability runs deep in Tsunagakurei's royal bloodline, passing through generations of Kazekage. Here's where things get interesting. Users generate magnetic forces they can apply to various substances. It's essentially weaponized physics. The most fascinating part? Different users develop unique signatures. The fourth Kazekage manifested black rings around his eyes, serious Gaara vibes, while others display different magnetic affinities. This Kekkei Genkai is versatility incarnate. Users can manipulate iron sand, gold dust, or even magnetize weapons that transfer their magnetic properties on contact. The third Kazekage took inspiration from Shukaku's Jinchuriki and created devastating iron sand weapons, while the fourth developed gold dust specifically as a Shukaku counter. Yeah, you see the users, the lineup is stacked with heavyweights. 3 Kazekage mastered it, including Gaara, who inherited it from his father. Shinki continues the tradition in Boruto with his iron sand. Even Shukaku itself uses magnet release with those cursed seal markings, which Naruto temporarily borrowed to create his binding Rasengan variation. Scorch Release. Scorch Release is one of those blink and you'll miss it Kekkei Genkai that deserves way more screen time. This deadly combination of fire and wind nature transformations appears to be native to Tsunagakure because apparently living in a desert wasn't hot enough already. While most elemental combos create something physically tangible, Scorch Release weaponizes pure heat itself. The technique creates superheated chakra that literally evaporates all moisture from the target's body. One hit and you're done. Victims are instantly mummified into desiccated corpses. The only known weakness? Water release techniques, which makes perfect sense given its dehydrating effects. Pakura of the Sand stands alone as the only confirmed wielder, though we got a taste of similar effects when Naruto and Sasuke combined their wind and fire techniques. Storm Release. Born from the badass fusion of lightning and water chakra natures, this ability originated in Kamogakure, and honestly, it makes perfect sense coming from the village literally built among storm clouds. Despite its misleading name, users aren't summoning hurricanes, though that would have been sick. Instead, they're manipulating laser-like beams of electricity that flow and bend like water. The mechanics are straightforward, but devastating. The user creates highly concentrated beams of lightning chakra that maintain fluid properties, allowing for precise manipulation that regular lightning release just can't match. Darui, the fifth Reikage's right-hand man, showcases this perfectly, firing off multiple beams that can track targets and punch through solid defenses. What makes Storm Release truly deadly is its versatility. It can be used for pinpoint assassination strikes or wide-area crowd control, all while looking cool as hell. The perfect blend of lightning's piercing power with water's fluid adaptability creates something that's greater than the sum of its parts. Sakan Ukon's Kekkei Genkai. One of the weirdest and most disturbing Kekkei Genkai in Naruto, Sakan Ukon's body manipulation abilities. These psychotic twins from Otogakure packed some seriously messed up genetic potential that made them Orochimaru's favorites for a reason. Their Kekkei Genkai allows complete molecular level separation and fusion, which is basically nature's most terrifying version of what's mine is yours. These brothers can share a single body with Ukon typically chilling inside Sakan like some biological Russian nesting doll. But here's where it gets truly nightmarish. They can extend limbs from each other's bodies or completely separate when they need to tag team some poor bastard. The crown jewel of their abilities. They can merge with an opponent's body and destroy them cell by cell from the inside. Just ask Kiba, who nearly died when Ukon pulled this move, essentially becoming a human cancer inside him. This isn't just fighting, it's biological terrorism. Would release? All right. The most insane Kekkei Genkai in the entire Naruto universe would release. This legendary Kekkei Genkai literally breaks the game by combining earth and water chakra natures to create freaking life from nothing. The OG master of this power was none other than Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage himself, and for the longest time, everyone thought this guy was just built different. Like seriously, this man created an entire forest that became the foundation for Konoha. The ability to manipulate, suppress, and absorb chakra made Hashirama one of the few people who could actually control tailed beasts like they were pets. No wonder they called him the God of Shinobi. This ability was so damn OP that after his death, everyone wanted a piece of this power. Orochimaru went full mad scientist and dug up Hashirama's body to harvest cells from his remains. Out of 60 test subjects, only Yamato survived the process. Danzo, Madara, even the White Zetsu army, they're all walking around with Hashirama cells trying to copy what made him special. What makes wood release truly terrifying isn't just that you can grow a forest in seconds or build entire houses with a hand sign. It's that perfect balance of offense and defense that lets you ensnare enemies, create perfect clones, and suppress even the most powerful chakra in the world, Byakugan. Byakugan is primarily associated with the Hyuga clan. When activated, Byakugan grants its user a 360-degree field of vision, allowing them to see everything around them without moving their head. However, it has one weakness, a small blind spot at the base of the neck. One of its most impressive abilities is long-range vision, enabling users to see objects and people several kilometers away, making it ideal for reconnaissance. It also allows users to see through solid objects and even perceive internal organs. What makes Byakugan unique is its ability to detect the chakra network within the human body. This lets users analyze chakra flow and identify vital points, giving them a significant advantage in battle. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.